Hello and welcome back to NUMO Garage. When an automatic camchain tensioner failed on this Kawasaki Zephyr 1100, it set off a chain of events that led to a much bigger repair than I expected. When the camchain went slack, jumped a toot and started hammering against the lower camchain guide hidden deep inside the engine. At first I thought replacing the camchain and fitting a manual tensioner would solve the problem, but the real damage was done and was still waiting to be discovered. In this video I'll show you the failed tensioner, what happens when the camchain jumps a toot, the damaged guide itself, and what's involved in replacing it. And this is the culprit. You can easily see the damage where the loose camchain have been repeatedly striking the guide. The surprising thing is that the damage was hidden deep inside the engine and wasn't obvious until the bike was stripped back much further than I had originally planned. The rattle itself is very hard to pick up on camera, but if you rode the bike it was very obvious. It was a really harsh rattling noise, and to be honest, it was pretty disappointing after it already replaced the camchain. If you're interested, I can always put together the original camchain replacement video as well from the footage that I have. This is the automatic camchain tensioner, and the spring inside it keeps constant pressure on the tensioning arm, pushing it against the back of the camchain guide to keep the camchain tight. But as you can see here, it's stuck. Look at the video at the side. Even with nothing pressing against it, the arm isn't moving out as it should. It always should be under pressure, constantly pushing against the guide, but this one had jammed and had stopped doing its job. You can see there was even a mark left on the tensioner where it had stuck. Instead of being easily able to move freely out, maintaining the pressure on the guide, it jammed in position and allowed the camchain to run loose. Once that happened, the camchain was effectively flopping around inside the engine and eventually jumped a toot. The result was the camchain that was tight at some points and extremely loose at others as the engine was turning over. The lower camchain guide is mounted deep inside the engine, and because the tensioner had no longer keeping pressure on the guide, the loosened chain was repeatedly hammering against the guide. The back of the guide, where the tensioner pushes, is only hard plastic, and over time the chain had simply battered it to pieces. So rather than struggle with removing the engine, I lay the bike on its side on my bike lift so I could get it to an easy height to work on. Before starting, I had drained the oil from the engine. So first thing is to remove the oil filter and the oil filter cover and start disconnecting some of the pipe work. There's a lock nut there. So we got a washer in there on this little plate and a banjo belt and a cable there. Then we'll move on to releasing this one. I don't think so. There, so I can move that out of the way, and so we don't lose it, we'll screw it back in. So we can loosen off the other ones. And there's an O-ring. There's an O-ring there on that. And then put this one here. Again, we're unscrewing it. So it's another banjo bolt. So now we have those disconnected, and there's another one here. out that one comes. That means that this pipe here, which is also retained on this down here, which you have to loosen in a minute. And you've got to remove the other one under here as well for this pipe here. So now we should just be a matter of remove this cover here. Take that off. That's that disconnected. Okay, that was easy enough, and then we just need to unload the engine. So just go around and loosen them all first a bit. Good. Yeah, and then we just loosen all them off. After all the bolts have been loosened, remove them, and then I use a cardboard guide to know where the bolts came from. It took a lot of beating with the hammer, and I managed to put this cardboard there with this type of hammer here onto this one, and whacked, and then eventually it started to come off. Whew. I thought I wasn't going to get that off, it was so stuck on there. So there's this metal gasket here that's kind of seems to be glued on both sides. Then this just pulls off there and comes out. There we go. There we go, it just pulls out like that. You take this out too, that goes in there, and in there, so that comes out too. Then should be this one, this one, this one, and this one. So this one, and it should get this out. You have to get that in a position where this is lined up in here. It's that there with the slot in it has to match this so you can get it out. It's not actually vertical, but I still managed to get out. So now we can see the bolts. So now we need to get it again. These out. And we'll use a magnet to get it. And the magnet gets it. So for this one, I've had to use a smaller 3/8 one so that I can get past the cam chain onto it with 10 on it. we got that out. See what we're doing and what condition it's in. Because that will be directly over the bolt we need to get. So. Okay, I figured out it's that screw there is the one holding the guide, so we need to get that one out. I'm going to get this bolt out here. And use our magnet again. The other side and push it down that way. And we draw it out the top. You might have to push the bottom of the engine. It's very hard to get your grip on it. Well, I managed to tap it out the top. Here is the damaged one. You can see it's got a hole right in it. It's all bashed and it went sideways. There's even this bit hanging out of it, and that's what it should look like. So if you can see the good one and the wrecked one there, you can see profiles there of those two. Eventually got it out by using this to tap it through, not really what you should be doing, and then pulling it out the other side by getting a vice grips onto that part and literally pulling it out the other side. It was in like this, and I got the vice grips on here and literally pulled it out like this. I'm actually amazed I got it out. The fun is going to be getting this one in, but shall we see. Here is the new one, and I put some oil to lubricate either side of the guide to help push it down, because it's very tight as it goes through the middle of the engine. Right it through. So now we can just see if we can attach the other side. And you can just about see the end of it just here, and I'm going to move that down a little. We're going to have to use this small one because I know, and the trick with, you can use an old bit of plastic, just any plastic bag, to get the nut. What I'm trying to do is get the nut to stay in there like that, and I'm just going to trim that off now, so the nut will stay kind of caught there. Semi-permanent Loctite on it, so get that on there, and then we're going to zoom in, and hopefully, because you have to guide it up and in, and then it's 11 Newton meters of torque on it, so I need to get this in there. And there we go, that's that one. Then we have to repeat the process on this, which is the starter motor guide. So we've got to get its 4 screws in now, in place. To fit in the pump, you've got to align this groove straight so it matches on the pump. If I can get the camera to focus on this part here, this straight here, so that kind of lines up with that as it goes in. It's got to go in, under, and then up. And that just needs to be tightened up. Yeah. Put it in. There's the oil pump bracket bolts. The longest one, which seems to be a silver one, goes at the top here. And the other 3 go in here, here, and here. So across first gently. It's 12 Newton meters of torque. And that's that. As the old Haynes manuals used to say, reassembly is the reverse of dismantling. And in my case, you'll have to take Haynes' word for it, because I somehow lost part of the rebuild footage. And then you have to tighten the engine bolts up to 11 Newton meters, and all the banjo bolts are tightened up to 25 Newton meters of torque. The oil filter housing is 20 Newton meters of torque, and there's a little cover that goes over the banjo bolt at the bottom of the engine, protected, and there are two guides that hold the piping for the oil cooler. So you need to put back in the oil pressure gauge and make sure you also fit its little rubber cap onto it. On the rebuild, use new rubber O-ring here, and also on all the banjo bolts use new copper washers each side of the fitting. When all this was done, the fun part was then, as I was working on my own, to get the bike back up onto its wheels. So I used my crane, and it was a bit of pushing and pulling, but we got it there, which is good. So then I could go on with fitting the exhaust and all the other parts, and also I had to rebuild the top of the engine, which is fitting the cams, refitting the cam chain. So all that I can show in a completely different video if people request it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you.